My name's Christine Matea, and I work at the Louisiana Veterinary Referral Center, Mandeville, Louisiana. This is Camille, and I love her because she has so much personality. She's the sweetest cat, she's friendly, the kids love her, she's a great family pet. I met her here. I was working at the Veterinary Referral Center. I just started right before Katrina. Katrina hit, and she came in through us, through our emergency department.
In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina came in. I think a lot of people were caught off guard because history has told us hurricanes come 3 days later, you're kind of at least back into your house and trying to get your yard back together. It was a week until I could get back. And again, I wasn't even in the hardest hit area, like in New Orleans, where there were floodwaters that were still so high. Really, the inside of the building was fine, but the storm pushed the facade off, so there was this probably 8-foot pile high of just bricks looking in front of the clinic. The building was still fairly well intact. But it was a really stressful time, and it was something that we'd never experienced here. So after the week when I got back here, we all met here, and we were really the first clinic to open.
Camille came in about a month or so after Hurricane Katrina. She had been in a house in Slidell, Louisiana that had flooded, and she had been there alone for 4 or 5 weeks. Her owners had evacuated out of the area, and she was brought into us by an organization called Noah's Wish, who was stationed here after the storm and was instrumental in rescuing a lot of animals that had been stranded. She was very thin, she was jaundiced. Her coat was in really poor condition.
So when they brought her in here, we knew that she had, like many of the cats we saw during that time for the first few weeks to months after Hurricane Katrina, we had a lot of cats with hepatic lipidosis.
Hepatic lipidosis occurs when a cat goes into starvation. They shift into this different type of metabolism. The fat stores move into the liver, and their liver becomes filled with fat. And so the ability for the liver to work and function decreases, so they can actually ultimately go into liver failure if they're not treated appropriately and aggressively.
So in Camille, at that time, that's what we placed in her, was a tube. And so it's called a PEG tube, percutaneous endoscopically placed gastrostomy tube.
It goes down their mouth into their esophagus, into their stomach, and then we're able to make a small incision through the stomach and pull it out through the stomach. So it actually sits on their side. You can feed them straight into the tube, you can give them medication straight into the tube, and they tolerate it very well.
Her PEG tube was in place for about 3 weeks, and she started eating on her own. And the goal is, once they start eating on their own and their blood work returns back to normal, then you just start tapering the feeding. 80 to 85% of cats with this disease will respond to treatment, to aggressive nutritional, as long as it's started early. And at that point, those animals are considered to be cured from the disease. And one question people ask, well, will it recur? There was one study that looked at, I think, 180 cats, and only 4 of them out of the 180 that had hepatic lipidosis had recurrence of the disease. So it's not something that we see recurring often.
She's healthy today. I've just recently checked her blood work. She came in for her annual exam and vaccines, and blood work came back fine. All her liver values are normal.
Christy Matea has been a technician here for a number of years. She has a very fond affection of pets, as most of our technicians that work for us. I mean, they're great pet owners. When she found out that the owners were not moving back to the area, she contacted Noah's Wish and decided to adopt her.
You know, I kept seeing her every day she was here. I just fell in love with her because she was so vocal. I would go open her cage door, and she would come right to me, and I would pet her, and she would talk back to me, and just fell in love with her.
I hate thinking about all that Katrina time, but I love seeing Camille because that was great. She came through. She's a ray of light, and she's a great cat, and it's a great story to be able to help her and still know her, and we know we did good things for her.